morning, America and the rest of the world. Sandra J. Hobson here, stand-up comedian and entertainer, director and producer of boxing documentaries, and internet troll to those who need internet trolling. This is another episode of The Devil's Advocate, brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Movement. Folks, trying to grow the platform, so please subscribe, like this video, share it, and by all means, leave a comment in the comment section, because I enjoy checking out the feedback from the videos that I make, as well as exchanging opinions and points of views with you all. Now, if you are a detractor, and it is your nature to detract, I encourage you to do so. But just know, if you get carried away in my comment section,
oh, wow! Wow!
I'm going to get you. I am the troll's troll, and trolling me will not be tolerated. So anyway, I was on my girl Bomb Cherry's panel this morning, and I had a rather spirited discussion with my girl Verbal. Now, Verbal's my girl, I got nothing but love for her. But when a woman goes around calling herself Verbal, you know she has a mouth on her. But that's neither here nor there. The premise of our debate was, I like to establish immediately where a relationship is going. Now, I realize in hindsight that Verbal was actually right in her assessment of the situation, because what I had did, or what I done, when I was talking about the subject, I projected my experiences into the topic, and in hindsight, I realized that was wrong. My experiences being, there's been 4 women throughout my life that have been really near and dear to my heart. Both of my wives, Veronica and the late Mary, my son's mom, Rochelle, and Wendy. But my point being, the moment I laid eyes on each of these women, I knew there was going to be something significant between me and these women. I've had other women who have been in my life, girlfriends, mistresses, same thing. The moment that I laid eyes on them, I knew that they would play a significant role in my life. Now, in defense of Verbal, Verbal was right. How would any person know that? And I guess because I knew that and those things actually came to fruition, I was standing on something that would be unreasonable for me to expect out of someone else. Relationships are a crapshoot. You don't know where the relationship is going until it goes in that direction. But again, because I knew, I projected that onto someone else, and again, Verbal was correct and I was incorrect, or she was right and I was wrong. But I will say this, if you're asking me, I'm going to stand on my premise. You have to establish immediately where a relationship is going. Now, I know some of you out there say, well, geez, you're contradicting yourself. You're right back at the point where Verbal disagreed with you at. Well, let me try to bring some clarity to what I'm saying. When a man and a woman meets one another, right away you establish chemistry with that person or you don't. More than likely, if there is no chemistry at the very beginning, when a man and a woman first meets each other, you're not going nowhere. Okay, to all of you laymen out there, what do you mean, OG, when you say chemistry? Well, number one, how you guys look at each other. Can both of you guys not take your eyes off of each other? Are there a lot of smiles as you two are interacting with each other? Are you genuinely interested in being around that person? Do you have butterflies in your stomach? Do you feel like electric? It's pulsating through your body. Now, I don't know how it works for you guys. That's how it works for me when I see someone that I like and I'm attracted to. But most important, is that person giving me back the same energy that I'm feeling for them? Now, if they're not giving me back that same energy, eye contact, the smiles, the walking close to me, even though we don't know each other from a can of paint, but you already have positioned yourself at my side. Are we touching each other consistently? Are we holding hands? See, this is that natural chemistry between a man and a woman. It's organic. When you first meet this person, do you guys have trouble going in separate directions? You're like magnets. You're drawn together. Which each of the women who have been significant in my life, when during our initial meeting, we spent a minimum of 3 hours together, and it was difficult to tear ourselves away from one another. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about that initial chemistry. Anything opposite of what I'm talking about, it means that you guys don't have that chemistry between each other. You're not drawn between each other. And to pursue anything beyond feeling or interactions that I'm talking about, you're really wasting your time. So again, Verbal was right, because if a person isn't of a certain experience, there's no way for them to understand what I'm talking about, because what I'm talking about is an experience, and it's one of those things. It can't be taught. It has to be lived. But if anything that I said here can be useful to you, use it in your interaction with the opposite sex. And the most important thing, if you're asking me, when you're interacting with someone new, be yourself. If you can't be yourself while you're with somebody, it's going to be very difficult to maintain an act, because that's all it is an act. Because after the show is over, we go back to being who we initially are.
Yo! Knock it the fuck off!
Now, I want to close this out by touching on one other point that Verbal and I spiritedly discussed. Verbal was talking about a man and a woman going out on a date, and of course the man asked the woman out on a date, and at some point, or at the end of the date, the woman says, I'm going to pay for my meal. Or I'm going to pay for the meal, but I'm going to pay for my meal. That was the point that Verbal touched on. The woman said, I want to pay for my meal. Well, more than likely, if you go out on a date with someone, a man and a woman, and the woman says to the guy, I'm going to pay for my own meal, well, it's my experience that the woman clearly isn't interested in you, and the reason why she's paying for the meal is because she don't want you thinking that she owes you anything. Now, in some cases, the woman might be testing you as Verbal asserted. Now, I don't believe in playing games, but let's just go with this theory of testing one another. Now, from my own personal experience, I remember I went out on a date with a sister, and at the end of the meal, I paid for the meal, and she paid the tip. And this is where we went our separate ways, because when she paid for the tip, I was thinking, wow, this sister's okay. She's not selfish. She's considerate. Well, she was thinking, damn, what a cheap bastard he is. He actually let me tip. Now, in her mind, she has a right to assume what she want to assume. I know I'm not a cheap bastard, but in my mind, I'm saying to myself, number one, this sister is full of game. She's a bullshitter. She thinks she's slick. And guess what? I don't want nothing to do with it. So, again, there's no right or wrong in this assessment. I'm just saying, as a full-grown man or woman, you have to have standards for yourself, And if a person doesn't live up to your expectations, why waste your time? So with that said, folks, I'm done with this, but I want to close this out by saying, Verbal, my sister, you were right and I was wrong, and I'm making this video as a tribute to you, and I love you, Verbal, and I love you, Bon Cherry, and there's nothing that neither one of you guys can do about it. Bam!
A little boy climbed an apple tree. He stole an apple, then two, then three. And when he started to climb back down, he slipped and he landed on the ground. Up jumped the devil. Up jumped the devil. And every time he turned around, up jumped the devil and the white